Hey. What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. And with me, as always, it's the great, the powerful. It's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Tonight's brew is from the Oxbow Brewery. I think it's brewery. It's
Brewing
actually Brewing
Co.
Company. The one time that I fucking assume it's something else, it's the one that I always want it to be.
Uh-huh.
The Oxbow Brewing Co. It's the Vestige.
Vestige.
It's the Vestige. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? We got the Ahsoka premiere.
Mm-hmm. 2 episodes, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part 1 and part 2, so it's like a 2-hour first episode, basically.
Okay.
And I watched it. Adam didn't watch it because he hasn't watched Rebels, and we're going to make fun of him for that.
I haven't even started Rebels.
Hasn't even started Rebels. This idiot was watching Clone Wars.
I'm
Can
just
you believe it?
walking through the muck of early Clone Wars.
Trudging through those terrible, terrible first season episodes where it's just like, it's a kid's cartoon. What are you doing?
Look, I'm in season 2 now, okay?
You're a fool. That's what you are. What else? What else are we got?
Well, speaking of Star Wars, we have what was supposedly gonna be Star Wars.
Yeah.
We have a movie called Rebel Moon, brought to you by Netflix and a little guy named Zack Snyder.
Just a small guy.
Yeah, we have a trailer, so we're gonna have a little mini trailer trash.
And then last but not least, we got to talk about Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, which I don't know a human alive who's calling it X, unless, you also have to move Elon Musk's you-know-what out of your mouth.
Good censorship. Yeah.
to say that phrase. Otherwise, it's Twitter. He, over the weekend, just floated an idea. Just floated it. That he was going to remove completely the block option on Twitter. And everybody across the political and social spectrum was like,
really cool about it.
Yeah, very cool about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that.
Super chill.
All right?
Yep.
So let's get ripping, rolling, rocking, going. This is episode 402 of the One Beer In podcast. Oh, yeah.
Frothy.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out.
Give it a minute. Oh, it's very heavy.
Okay. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where 2 brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. It's kind of like a slow pour.
A little bit.
Yeah. As I said, I'm Marco Dupa. That's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah.
This is episode 402. Let's get going.
Okay.
Start you kids off with an easy thing to get into. Okay. The Ahsoka. Excuse me. Ahsoka review. What is so funny? I'm still a little. Okay. We missed last week. I guess you should tell people I missed last week.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I was feeling under the weather.
We had one in the can, so that's why there wasn't a break.
Just launched that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not feeling 100% myself.
It's okay.
I was
It's all right.
feeling my best.
Yeah.
And so we decided to take a break.
Oh, yeah.
A much needed break. Okay? And I'm still feeling the remnants of it. Is it COVID-19? This new strand that everybody's worried about? Who knows?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
It's fine. I waited the 2 weeks like they tell you. And that's it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right. Ahsoka.
No. Beer.
Oh, beer. Thank you.
Beer first.
Yes.
Clearly been a break, Marco.
Yes. Clearly.
We have the Vestige from Oxbow Brewing. It's Subtly-Smoked Blonde Farmhouse Ale. A production time of 6 weeks. Keep cold and enjoy within 1 year. There is a short cold read. The Vestige is a saison brewed with smoked German malts and noble European hops. 5% by ABV. oxbowbrewing.com. Canned, conditioned, brewed by Oxbow Brewing Co. Out of Newcastle, Maine. Maine. Okay. Please, Ahsoka.
Vestige, good stuff. Or Oxbow, I should say, is good stuff. This
I was going to say, we'll see.
We'll find out how good.
See if the Vestige is any good.
Okay, Ahsoka. Spoiler-free review because he hasn't watched it.
Right.
So, I guess, really, instead of talking about the show proper, really wanted to get into the reactions about the show.
Sure.
Which is, I think, a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Which is that, basically, not everybody, a lot of people are not happy with the first 2 episodes. Kind of feel like it's in the same vein of all of these Disney shows that have come out. Basically, people feel like Disney has got its tendrils around all of their favorite properties, and they've done nothing but ruin them ever since.
Milking them, not treating them with the respect they deserve.
And Ahsoka is just another corpse, another victim of this
laying on the pile.
This Disney takeover. So I've seen a lot of reactions, a lot of people talking about the framing of the show, the color grading, the
nerds.
Yeah.
Stop. That's enough.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I sometimes when I watch these shows, I see, like, I can understand where some of these people, I guess, are coming from when it comes to some of that stuff, because they're paying attention to that kind of thing, and they're very acutely aware of that stuff. I saw somebody do like a side by side thing where they quote unquote fixed the color grading. You saw
that too, yeah.
And although it did look, I guess it was more appealing to the eye. If you never told me anything about the color grading, I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have. And again, this goes back to, like, I wouldn't notice something that somebody else would notice because they're educated in that field or they pay attention to that kind of thing, and so they're going to see it more than I will. Just as I would notice something in, say, a piece of music that somebody else wouldn't notice.
Sure.
That would bother me, that wouldn't bother that person.
Well, unless it's beating you over the head like a Zack Snyder movie where it's like all one shade of color,
right?
Essentially.
Right. That's something that we all notice.
Or just like it's a modern Disney animated remake where everything is just hair too dark.
Right. Which, actually, you could kind of say maybe this is.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a show where most of the characters were introduced. Actually, all of the characters were introduced in some way or another in an animated field. Whether it be like a comic book or a graphic novel or
other
a novel
than like
itself.
Anakin. But
other than Anakin.
Yeah,
but he's not really.
Annie.
The main character, Ahsoka Tano, if you don't know, is portrayed by Rosario
Dawson.
The Goddess Dawson.
Dawson.
And I don't know, I don't quote me on this, but I'm like 85% sure part of the reason she was cast is because of fan casting.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
It was. That's what she kind of chalks it up to.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that I'm not speaking out.
She heard about a fan saying that they wanted her. I think somebody mocked it up.
Yeah.
And she saw it online and was like interested instantly.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say this. So far, maybe I'm in the minority here. I mean, I'm always in the minority. I'm brown.
That's what ancestry tells me.
I like her portrayal of Ahsoka. Yeah. I've seen everything that Ahsoka's in. Mm-hmm. And I like what Rosario's doing with the character. Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm not going to be hating on her portrayal and what she's done. I think that she's doing a really good job with the character. I think she respects the character. I think she's trying to bring like a grace and a respect and just a belief in the character. Mm-hmm. I think she's what people see of Ahsoka in the cartoons is like a younger version.
Yeah.
Rosario is like a more adult version, and it shows. I think she's doing really well with that. Number 2, the look of the show and the writing of the show so far, the first 2 episodes. I mean, I guess here's where I put my nerd hat on.
Okay.
If you didn't watch Clone Wars and you didn't watch Rebels and you didn't read any of the Thrawn books or anything like that, and you feel left out, too bad. You don't get to enjoy the show.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's a show. It's not this brand new property. It's a thing based on a thing based on a thing. Why would you get it?
Yeah.
If you didn't watch all the things. I get that people are upset about like Marvel shows and these Star Wars shows. Or movies,
at this point,
where they're like, yo, you need to watch X amount of movies to get this movie.
Yeah. And this show and this other show.
Yeah. Now, okay, but here's my thing. I feel like there's a difference between a Marvel property that is like, hey, you should go watch this movie. Why? Well, you if you watched 15 other movies, you'll understand why. I think there's a big difference between that and a show that is clearly a spinoff of other properties. Ahsoka
Sure.
is a thing based off of a character. It's not like, she's never been a main character. It's a spinoff of something else.
Yeah.
We're getting her side of this her side of this story, this ongoing tale of the Empire after Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I feel like it's just a little different. I understand people's qualms with having to watch a child's cartoon and 3 other TV shows before you can understand this other thing.
I'm going through it right now.
I get people's qualms with that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, it's a thing, like, it's the premiere of this show that's a spinoff of another show.
Sure.
Like, okay, no, that's a bad example. That's a bad example.
I know we've sat here before and made the claim that in order for something to be really good, it should stand on its own.
It should. I agree.
So if Ahsoka on its own merits isn't at least entertaining to a general audience, I'd say it's kind of failed.
Okay, and I would dock it points because it doesn't work right now. The first 2 episodes, there is a lot of I don't want to call it nostalgia, but there's a lot of
Fan service.
A lot of references to stuff where you're like, I guess I'm supposed to care about that.
Uh-huh.
It's just harder for me to be empathetic.
Because you do care about that. Yeah.
I've been along for the ride the whole time.
Sure. Where did you find the time to finish Clone Wars?
I told you I only finished it. I watched the important episodes first.
Got it.
Then I went back and watched the filler stuff.
Got it.
But I already understood what needed to be understood
to
continue watching the other shit.
Yeah.
So I watched all the like important episodes. Rebels I watched from front to back.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard universally that Rebels is better than Clone Wars.
Rebels is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not hating Clone Wars. I don't want to sit here and say it's awful, but it is more kid focused. Like it's definitely, especially season 2. I hear, once it came back, it kind of got its legs for adults and kind of grew up with the audience a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the first 5 seasons were on Disney, and then the last one was made on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
The last couple of seasons were like, all right. Because here's the thing about Clone Wars is it's a kid's show for the most part. And then when they were coming to the end of the show, they were like, all right, we need to tie up a lot of loose ends.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's when it starts to make references to the other movies, when it gets a little bit more adult, like characters are dying and stuff like that. But the first 4 or 5 seasons, they just have to fill a kid's show.
It's adventures and
they have to get to 100 episodes so they can syndicate it. That's it.
Yeah.
So they're just filling it with bullshit.
Right. It's filling out the world of what happened during the Clone Wars.
Yeah. And you get a pretty full picture what the Galactic Empire looked like as the war was going on,
and more of the relationship of Padme and Anakin.
Yeah,
which helps.
Padme and
tremendously.
Anakin gets fleshed out. Ahsoka's character development happens a lot in Clone Wars and in Rebels. Well, mostly in the end of Clone Wars.
She's really
Rebels,
whiny where I'm at right now.
Yeah, she kind of. That's why a lot of people didn't like her in the beginning.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, "Why are we spending so much time on this character?
Just obey him for once, please."
Yeah, dude. And the thing is, you got to give credit to Dave Filoni, man.
Yeah.
He believed in this character that he created, and he was like, "You guys are gonna get it."
Hold on.
I swear to God, just give me a second.
I'm
you guys
just
will
kidding.
Like this character.
I'm just joking.
Just joking. I'm just joking. And it worked, man. He fucking steadfast. He stood 10 toes on his character.
Yeah.
He was like, you guys will understand and you will
It's the
like
long
it.
game.
Yeah.
I will say, at least where I'm at right now in it, which is still very early, about mid-season 2.
Yeah.
The amount of world building I think is worth it alone to go through Clone Wars.
Yeah.
For the most part, because even with something like Jedi Survivor, I'm getting more like context for some of even the enemies and like things like that I didn't know. I didn't necessarily need to know for Jedi Survivor or the first one,
Fallen Order.
Thank you. But it helps, like it all expands the world in a nice. It's like reading a cheap novel, like a paperback novel. Back in the day, all those Star Wars novels that were pretty disposable but still kind of cool and had something of worth in them. That's kind of how I see Clone Wars as it is right now. It's like it's a fun diversion. It's fine, Yeah, it's still a fun world to live within, and I would say at least where I'm at right now does infinitely make the prequel trilogy just that much better.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. I think that the Clone Wars did more harm than good when it comes to the prequel trilogy. In that they softened everybody's opinions on the prequel trilogy. So that now you see people going back and going, Hayden Christensen was actually really good in that, and you just didn't get it at the time.
Sure.
And I'm here to tell you,
Sherry,
Hayden Christensen is awful.
You didn't like
movies. Jumper? No. Jumper sucks. Listen, you guys.
I'm a Jumper apologist.
You guys
I enjoy
on the internet
Jumper.
really, really irk me with a lot of stuff. And this is maybe top 5 in my book. The rose-colored glasses they have on for not just the prequels, but Hayden Christensen's performance. We all agreed 10 years ago that Hayden Christensen was bad. Okay?
Sure.
We all agreed. The internet as a whole, we all said that these movies aren't good. And part of the reason is because of Hayden Christensen's whiny, wooden performance. It's not a good performance. He had 2 movies. Sorry, he wasn't in the first one. He had 2 movies to get it right. And he couldn't do it. Not until like the last quarter of the last movie did you finally go, all right. I buy it.
Yeah.
That Attack of the Clones, man, maybe one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life. He's so bad. How
bad was he?
He has his own bad memes of just him being bad in the movie. Like, he's just bad. He's just
okay, but how much of that was the script and directing, and how much was that the actual actor?
No, it was all him. Here's the thing. The reason I say that, the reason I'm so confident in that is because I've seen him in other things, and he's bad in those things too. He's never been good in anything. The movie Takers? It's not a very good movie, but it's a heist movie, and so I watched it.
Yeah.
He's awful in it. Awful. They could have plucked a white dude off the street, and he would have been better than Hayden Christensen in that movie.
Not as pretty, though.
Not as pretty. And that is the crux of this whole thing, is it not? How pretty is Hayden Christensen? Those
gorgeous.
Dreamy eyes, that pouty face. You're like, oh my goodness, this guy could do anything. he's a dreamboat.
He's like really soft spoken too. Like he has Like,
Oh yeah, we know that.
like after just, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little,
I get it.
hot under the collar here.
I get it.
But
That's why we had to wear these shirts.
Yeah,
We're like, I
yeah.
didn't want to sweat too much.
but like even watching interviews and stuff, like he seems to have that personality that draws you in.
Yeah.
Because he's like, soft spoken.
And you wanna
seems,
listen to him,
yeah,
like,
you lean in. You lean in
He
when he's
draws you
talking.
in.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if only his acting ability matched that. If only he drew me in on screen.
Sure, yeah. And it's funny because there is like an X factor that I feel like is missing with him.
Yeah.
For
It's called
like
talent.
for being a movie star, like it could have worked for him, but I just feel like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I do. I know you don't, but I do. I just feel like maybe he didn't find his thing, his project.
Yeah.
That could have done it for him.
It's not for lack of trying. They threw everything at this kid, and he just couldn't do it. He couldn't hack it.
I guess. I
mean,
don't know.
like pull up his filmography
Okay. All right.
because this will be fun. Oh man.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh
You know
man.
how much fun I have hating on stuff. Hate.
I love the way it feels to be a hater.
I mean, he's a great. I mean, look at this.
All right. He's an Obi-Wan. He was in Star Wars, obviously. Jumper. Awake in 2007.
There's no way he's been in all those movies. That's a crazy filmography.
It's a lot. Did he actually voice in Rebels?
I don't remember him. No.
Okay. Well, apparently,
unless they did a cameo thing.
yeah.
They have another actor who, by the way, the guy who takes over as Anakin, the voice actor who takes over as Anakin in Clone Wars,
Yeah.
so much better than Hayden.
He's good.
Christensen.
He's really
It's
good. Yeah.
crazy.
He is really good.
Was he a
How-
voice actor for it?
No. I'm saying like they couldn't get Hayden Christensen, so they got another guy, and he is Anakin. His voice, I mean, to me, that's Anakin in my opinion. It's not Hayden Christensen.
Well, you spend so much more time with the voice actor than you do with Hayden Christensen.
But
so.
I think he just nails the emotion of the performance more than Hayden does. Hayden has this. He is soft spoken. Excuse me. He is soft spoken, and and he is kind of like, sullen and
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work. He's annoying. He's annoying. That's what it is. That's the problem.
All right.
Sick of him.
I'm trying to get
Already.
to his feature debut, which
They
is kind of
bring
hard
him
to do.
back in Obi-Wan,
They do.
and
Spoilers.
he's awful in that too. He's just so bad.
I just think Obi-Wan was disappointing overall.
It's not a good show, right? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, I mean, I shouldn't say it's not a bad show, but like it definitely could have been.
It's disappointing.
better.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
I
hate you. That's my Hayden Christensen impression.
It's pretty good. All right, well, let's just start with 99. He was in the Virgin Suicides, apparently. I didn't realize he was, but he's apparently Jake Hill Conley. So, early role, Life as a House in 2001.
Sure.
Then immediately into Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones in 2002.
And that's when he explodes.
Yeah. Then he had Shattered Glass in 2003.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's wearing glasses.
And his name is Stephen Glass.
See? Oh,
Yeah.
that already makes me.
That's not his fault.
That is not his fault.
Yeah. Nothing's ever Hayden's fault.
Then Revenge of the Sith in 05. Then he was in Factory Girl in 06, but it seems like it's a bit part because he's just labeled as a musician.
Yeah.
He was in Awake in 07. Virgin Territory in 07 as well.
Yeah.
Jumper in 08.
So wait. What's Virgin Territory? Is that a sequel to that other Virgin movie?
No, it can't be. No,
You
it's
telling
not.
me this guy
was in two
picked
Virgin movies?
Virgin movies.
Yeah, no, this is a period piece. There's no way.
I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta, as his agent, be like, you already did a Virgin movie.
You can't do this
You
one. I'm
can't
sorry.
have two on your IMDb.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're skipping because you've got Jumper.
Yeah, Jumper.
He's bad in that.
New York, I Love You.
Bad in that. I watched that movie. Don't know why.
Takers.
He's not. He's bad in Takers.
Vanishing on 7th Street.
Nah, I've not seen that. I don't know what that is.
Quantum Quest. Oh, it's a voiceover. We won't count that.
He's Jammer.
He's in a music video.
Yeah.
American Heist in 14. So, I mean, who knows these movies?
Yeah, exactly. Look at his filmography; it's awful, and it's because he's not good.
But yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. I think, and Sherry said, "What if it's his agent?" And I think that has a lot to do with it. A lot of it has to do with choices.
I disagree. I think that he's. Yeah, no. Okay, all right. Let me rephrase. It does have a lot to do with choices. He's making bad choices because he's not good. He's not good at this, and he picked bad movies to be in. I see. He was already an established film actor who had done so many movies, and after Star Wars, after having this high profile, after all of that, he picked to do a movie called Little Italy. He picked that after all of that, okay?
But he took a break. He took a break and then he came back.
Right, then he came back and did Little Italy.
I mean, do you think people were clamoring for more Hayden Christensen?
No, and you know why? Because he's not good.
He went away for a while.
He's bad. He's not a good actor. Other actors go away and then they pop up in a thing and you're like, holy fucking shit. Jake Gyllenhaal's in a thing. I want to go see that movie. You know why? Because Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor.
I don't think Jake's ever stopped.
That's true.
I think he just kept going.
Tom Hardy, he's taken breaks before.
And
I think he's currently on a break.
He's taken swings too. You know, he's done some little pictures.
He's right. He's
come back in Nolan films.
Exactly. And you know why? Because Tom Hardy's a good actor, and he can take those big swings and miss.
Sure.
And be in like a movie with Dave Bautista before he was in Guardians, and you're like, what the fuck?
But Hayden Christensen was in the Goosebumps TV show.
Now that is a vote for him. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But there's only so much that's gonna give him. That's only so much.
Wait. And in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay, this guy likes to do something.
He was a child horror actor.
All right. Okay. All right. Fine.
Perhaps a Scream King.
All right, but
you know
what? You know what? You know the reason he was in both of those things? Because he's cute. That's why. And they needed a cute white kid to be in those movies.
Sure.
Or TV shows.
Yeah.
That's what they do with cute white people. They put them in stuff like that.
Immediately from Are You Afraid of the Dark in 99, he was in Virgin Suicides in the same year, 99. So, yeah, I think that was clearly a hot year for him. He had 5 projects in 99 alone.
He blew his load in 99.
I think so. Yeah.
And that was it. And all of them are not good. It's crazy how he could be just so mediocre in everything that he's done.
Well, Virgin Suicides is apparently a good movie. I don't know if he's good in it, though.
Listen, I don't mean to rag on Hayden Christensen as a person.
He seems like a really nice guy.
Exactly. I don't want this to come across like I don't like him as a person. He's firmly within the Mount Rushmore of people who like I think seem like nice guys. Like Kid Cudi is another guy that we've talked about on the show before, and I think I've talked about in the past. Like seems like a really, really nice guy that I would get along with, a guy that I respect tremendously for their craft.
Terrible actor.
And everything that they've done. But they're not good. They're just not. Kid Cudi's just not good. It's just not, man. I want him to be good. I want Hayden Christensen to be good. Because he keeps popping up and stuff that I'm watching, and I'm like, God damn it, this kid again. I want him to be good. He's just not. You know, and that's all I'm saying. There's plenty of people in Hollywood who are talentless, who don't deserve the spot that they have, but it's because they're so pretty. Jennifer Aniston pops up in my head when I think about like actors who don't deserve their spot. I just don't think she's that good of an actress.
I see where you're going with this, but I don't think Jennifer Aniston has ever been in like a movie that has pushed her to actually act. She's always been Rachel, essentially.
But I always feel like anytime she's in a thing, I know exactly what she's going to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you could replace her with Anne Hathaway like that and get a better performance because Anne Hathaway's
way better
good
actor.
Actress.
Yeah.
And she would just crush whatever Jennifer Aniston is doing. Anne Hathaway could do better.
Sure.
Who? Her outfits are great. I mean, her fits are out of control. Sure. Obviously. Yeah. You know.
Well, let's not. Jennifer Aniston in her own right was a like cultural icon for fashion for a long time.
In the 90s.
Sure, but I mean like people were getting the Rachel haircut, you can't not factor that in.
Here's the thing, that gets us in a whole other conversation about how overrated Friends is, and we don't have the time to do that. Yeah, I'll do it. We don't have the time. We got other topics to get to.
Neither the time nor place.
Yeah. But one day we'll come back to how overrated that show is and how it blew up 5 people who didn't deserve to be where they were. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Looking at you, Matt Perry. Fuck him.
We heard what he said about
fuck him.
Keanu Reeves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
like
You
that.
think people forget? The internet never forgets.
No. He erased it from his book.
Yeah. Well,
The prints are still
you
out
didn't-
there, Matt.
You didn't erase it from our hearts and minds. Tell you what.
Well, that brings up a point that I wanted to in talking about actors that are really pretty but may not have the chops.
Yeah.
Keanu's one of them. I'm sorry.
I disagree, and here's why I disagree. Because I love Keanu Reeves.
I do too. I love him like I know him personally.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But I would not claim him to be a great actor.
All right, I agree with that. I don't think he's a great actor, but I hear you and I raise you. Who else could do what he's done in his movies? Think of another actor who could do convincingly what he's done in the movies that he's done them in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Like I don't know of a guy who could play Neo the way that Keanu played him that makes it so iconic. I think maybe this is going to sound shitty, but I think maybe there is something in his mediocrity that makes it so that those performances work.
That is absolutely true. And I think Neo was his perfect role.
Yeah.
Because he is in that role as a character.
Yeah.
Indistinct. He is an everyman. He is nothing. In the real world, he is nothing. He's a loser essentially.
Right. Yeah, that's the point. He's just a cog in the machine.
He's a cog in the machine.
Machine.
We don't know anything about him other than he's like a hacker in his downtime,
Yeah.
and he works for this conglomerate that is faceless and nameless and whatnot. And he is an empty vessel to be filled with the legend of Neo. And that's why it works.
Yeah.
Because then
you really went after Keanu. You knew what you were doing when you picked Keanu.
Yeah. So, I feel like that is perfect for him. That is the perfect role. And that's why, like, John Wick works. Yeah. Because John Wick, we don't need to... And obviously they explore more in other movies. But in the first movie, we don't really know who he is. He's just the Baba Yaga, right? Yeah. We know he's this infamous killer. We know about him because of other people's interpretations. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, so that brings us back to Hayden Christensen's choices.
Yeah.
Right? Because to me, Keanu's got some stinkers in his IMDb.
He's been around too long to not have stinkers.
Right.
Yeah.
But his big movies, he's for the most part, like, he's picked better. Okay,
that's fine.
Let's just for a second.
Let's just keep opening the door. Let him come in. Yeah.
Shit out of him. No, seriously, let me fucking come. Yeah, exactly. You let your dogs off leash, and then they come into the apartment. We get to kick the fuck out of them. Yeah. It is our
it's our prerogative.
Right. In this great state of
I'm standing my ground.
It is our legal right to kick the shit out of your dog.
Where's the bug gun?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Where's the bug gun? Yeah. There you go. Yeah. It is our legal right. Hold on. I give this to the man of the house. There you go.
Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, it's already cocked.
Yeah.
You already cocked it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, all right.
Try one more time.
Why don't you look through the
people?
Look through the people, yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know
All
what?
right.
I'm going to leave all this in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to leave
fine.
all this in. Anyway, fuck. What were we saying? His choices.
You were saying, yes, Hayden Christensen's choices versus Keanu's choices.
Yeah. Keanu, for the most part, has picked like, he brings something to the iconoclast aspect of his roles.
Sure.
There's other people that could have done those things and maybe not have done them in the way that he did them. And that kind of brings something to that, right?
Well, and I should say early on, he was a good character actor, but it was only because he was playing himself.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize that really until, essentially Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Where, he couldn't get rid of his surfer accent.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
But
They picked him to be in this. And it was really pretty privileged. He was so good looking at the time. They put him in this movie that he didn't deserve to be in.
But, it goes with the set dressing. Like, it's just, everything in that movie is so pretty.
Yeah.
But my point is, early on, like, he played a teenage kind of dropout guy really well.
Yeah.
Or like a surfer dude. Because that's who he is.
Yeah.
That's his style, that's his sound early on, and it worked for him.
Yeah.
I don't think Hayden had that.
No.
I think he was so indistinct from the rest of the crowd, other than being really pretty, that he just didn't, as you were saying, bring anything to the table.
No, and that really is the difference. Like, people can say that Keanu is a mediocre actor, and you can argue that till the cows come home. But
I would.
At the end of the day, if we're talking about Hayden couldn't do what Keanu does.
Yeah.
But a young Keanu could do what Hayden did.
Oh, of course, yeah. It would be better.
Yeah.
I would love to see Keanu in Jumper.
Yeah, exactly.
Kidding me?
A young Keanu Reeves in New York, I Love You. So, it's just, that's on him. I think at the end of the day, you guys with your rose-colored glasses and your nostalgic look back on Hayden's performance, you make it harder to discuss these things in a way, in a logical way. Because
in an honest way.
In an honest way. Yeah. That's a better. In an honest way. Because we all just agreed that the prequels aren't good movies for the most part. There's good things in them. Like, okay, the way we talk about the sequel trilogy, for instance, there's people that don't like The Last Jedi. There's people that don't like Force Awakens, and there's people that don't like Rise of Skywalker. Right? I think universally, Rise of Skywalker is panned. Yeah. Right? Nobody likes that movie, for the most part. I'd say the majority of us don't really like that movie.
Agreed.
The one that
Despite what we said in our review.
Yeah.
We'll have to re-review.
Yeah. But The Last Jedi is a movie that gets... there's a real discussion behind, is it one of the best Star Wars movies, or is it one of the worst Star Wars movies?
Sure.
Right? The Force Awakens is basically...
a retelling.
Yeah. So we don't really talk about that one because it's just it's such an easy movie. It's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's a good starting off point.
So much potential.
Yeah.
I think it's only ruined by where it went.
Right.
Because I can't watch that movie without going, why did we end up where we did?
Right.
There was so much to do. We could have.
You see all these launching pads for all this cool shit, and none of it really
and it all gets cut.
And you're like, nah. So The Last Jedi is the one that gets talked about the most as like what it could have been or what it is, and blah blah blah. But at least when we talk about the sequels, we have an honest conversation about listen, you don't like this movie because of X, but I think it's good because of Y.
Yeah.
And that's a healthy debate about these movies.
Sure.
What's happening right now with the prequels is people going back and going, you know what? Actually, all three of them are great. And by the way, Hayden Christensen deserves his flowers for these performances. And it's like, they're not, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let you guys get away with this.
Well, I think that statement alone has so much in debt to the voice actor for Anakin in Clone Wars.
Absolutely.
We should look up his name. I'm sorry. He deserves to be named.
He brought so much heft to that role. And
that it retroactively
changed
the perception
1,000,000%.
of Hayden Christensen's performance.
And see, here's the thing. Do we talk about Ewan McGregor's performance in the same way?
No.
No, we don't. Because Ewan McGregor's performance is goddamn note perfect.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't even talk. I'm not even bringing up the voice actor in the show because you know what? He's just doing an impression of Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor is fucking flawless.
He's great, yeah.
In all three movies. And so we don't even...
And the show. He's good in the show.
Yeah. He's fan-fucking-tastic.
Matt Lanter is Anakin. There he is.
I mean, you know, he's even a good-looking guy.
He's a
Probably
handsome
could've, like,
guy.
nailed the movie
He's
too.
a handsome guy.
Yeah. So,
A rarity for voice actors. I'm sorry.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
We know we're podcasters.
Hey, speak for yourself. So it's stuff like that. Like we don't even have to talk about Ewan McGregor's performance, right? Because it's so perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't even belong in this conversation. The guy who plays Starkiller also does the voice of Darth Maul.
Yes.
And he's
I heard that.
amazing in the show. Excuse me.
Wow.
Wasn't done. And we don't talk about that either.
It's
you
true.
know? Because why should we?
Yeah.
Because it's so good. This is what I'm saying.
I hear you.
Hayden's not good.
I think I just think Hayden's such a good guy. You know?
See, that's blinding you.
I don't want to.
You're blind, baby.
I don't want to speak ill of him. You know? But I get what you're saying.
We can pick another actor to talk shit about. What?
Barbie's coming to IMAX.
Oh my
Oh wow. Barbie is coming to IMAX.
Yeah. I alley-ooped you, Jennifer Aniston.
Sure.
And what'd you do? You defended her. You had ample opportunity to shit on her too, and you were like, people were wearing the Rachel. That was on you. I gave that to you. That was an assist. That was a nothing burger. I said, here, take that.
Look.
Slam that. And you said, nah. She deserves her flowers too. No, she doesn't. Fuck Jennifer Aniston.
Okay. I don't have the hate in my heart.
Maybe you should get some.
Oh,
I have too much. You can have some of it.
that's okay.
Have some of it.
You're clearly a Sith.
Take some of it. Oh man, you better believe if I was part of the Jedi Order, there's no way. If somebody was like, listen, you can have the dark side is more powerful than the light.
Yeah.
It just is. Everybody acknowledges that,
Sure.
right? So you get more power. You get to feel your emotions
in the short term, the dark side.
Sure.
In the long term, the light is more powerful.
Well, I mean, the light is more powerful. You're more in touch with the Force, and you know, there's a more I guess, I don't know, togetherness when you're in the light. When you're in the dark, if a powerful Sith Lord is fighting a Jedi who is really in touch with the Force, think about the only ones who beat a Sith historically. Nah, I shouldn't say the only ones because the nerds are going to be like, well, actually. Let me just say this. Jedi are bound by the Jedi Code.
Yeah.
Right?
Which was their downfall.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're basically a cult.
Yeah.
The dark side of the Force.
Just like Mandalorians.
The Sith.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Well, that one sect, apparently.
The Sith were like, listen, we're trying to take over, bro. And not only do you get to just you're more powerful, you get to feel all the emotions you want.
You can
also,
have sex.
You get pussy.
Have
You knew where I was going.
Yeah. You are not a space. You're not a space priest. How about that?
Exactly. How could you turn that down? And then you get the cool red lightsaber.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean,
You sometimes get cool tattoos and stuff.
yeah, you can get all weird with it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to wear the robes.
You can shave your head.
Do whatever you want.
No one asks
Grow a beard,
anything
and no
about
one's
it.
like, "Are you like a monk or like
Yeah.
what's happening? Like, what are you? You got a Padawan learner? No,
Yeah.
no. I'm going to the club tonight. That's why I look like this.
You're not wearing your robes. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the robes are in the cleaners.
Yeah.
I might not wear them shits again.
Found some flash shit.
I got better shit to do. This shit is black, dog. You know how hard it is to get black robes in the universe? Motherfuckers want you to wear earth tones all the time. I don't want to wear earth tones.
And
I wanna
white.
wear black.
Yeah.
And white.
And beige.
Look all that. Ugh,
Nasty.
you know?
I will say, imagine, like, I genuinely believe this. I'm sure somebody's written an entire fanfic about this, okay? But I think all of Anakin's downfall could have been solved just by them saying,
If he was a better actor.
yeah. Just by the Jedi Order, evolving and saying, you know what? We can have relationships.
Yeah.
We can have sex. It's okay. You can get married.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's a whole thing with the gray Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like the in between of like, following the order, but also being a human being and understanding that like people have
or whatever
needs and
alien you are.
Yeah, whatever that is. That was actually one of the theories that came out after The Force Awakens was, oh, cool, they're going to use Rey and they're going to do a gray Jedi thing. Mm-hmm. That's like the whole point of the movie. Is she going to be Rey or Kylo? Kylo's going to be, his redemptive arc is going to be, I'm going to be a gray Jedi.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
I know.
Don't get me started.
Let's not do it. We don't have to do it. But yes, to answer your question, yes, nerds
They
have touched
set
on
it
this.
up.
Fanfic has touched.
It was set up.
Yeah.
They could have abolished the idea of like good and bad.
Yeah.
And there just be existing,
It was right there for them
God.
for the taking, and they decided, nah.
Maybe the
We
biggest
need to sell toys.
maybe the biggest fumble of all time.
Yeah.
Of any like any kind of franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know a bigger flop for an idea that was not,
No, it might be the biggest fumble. It might be. It just might be.
It hurts. It hurts to think about.
I
It
know.
really does.
I know.
The potential.
But here's the thing. Here's what we can do.
Okay.
We can talk about the people who have come after and who have used Star Wars and things like
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And they have come up with their own thing.
Sure.
People like, I don't know, Zack Snyder, for instance.
Yeah.
Let's just say, on the off chance, he was tapped to do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then they decided we're not going to go in that direction. And Zack Snyder was like, well, I've got all this material written to do
Sure.
a Star Wars movie. Maybe I'll just do my own movie.
Yeah.
What kind of world would we be living in if we just decided to make a Star Wars movie without any of the characters in Star
Sure.
Wars?
Yeah, yeah.
And then had Zack Snyder at the helm?
We're gonna find out.
Because Rebel Moon is going to be debuting on Netflix.
Yes. Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, so they gave this motherfucker the keys to the castle. He's got a part 1 and a part 2 already.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he already had the keys to the castle.
That's right. With that fucking god awful. Oh man. You would think that after he did that fucking zombie movie,
Two. There was that one and then the prequel.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Never watched it.
No,
but-
I didn't watch that. Didn't need to watch that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's follow the least interesting character because he was quippy and fast talking and he was basically the French version of Jesse Eisenberg.
Sure.
Yeah.
Army
sure.
of the Dead.
Yeah, no.
was
I'll
the
watch an
movie.
entire film based around that guy. Yeah, definitely. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. Stupid.
Anyway,
Stupid.
they were like, you know what? We got a couple $100 million laying around. Let's give it to
Enjoy.
Yeah, that's what they were doing with it. They gave it to Zack Snyder to make Rebel Moon. And I assume you already watched the trailer. We don't have to.
I did watch the trailer, yeah.
All right. Well, kids, you know what time it is. It's time for a trailer.
Trailer trash.
So, you want to set the stage for us, kids?
Sure. Rebel Moon is directed by Zack Snyder, as we've said, coming out on December 22nd, 2023, exclusively on Netflix. I think they may have a theatrical release as well, but so far only on Netflix. The synopsis goes as follows. When a colony on the edge of the galaxy finds itself threatened by the armies of the tyrannical Regent Belisarius, they dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them take a stand.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that's what the trailer looks like. I didn't really get that from the trailer.
No, I didn't get that at all.
There's a lot going on in the trailer.
There's a lot, yeah.
I mean, the visual style of it looks cool.
Yeah.
I think Zack Snyder is a master at trailers.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best out there.
Yeah. Man, just get this guy to do a music video.
I
3
mean-
minutes. You get this guy a 3-minute time limit, and man.
I genuinely think he is like, he could be the best music video director of all time.
Yeah.
Whether he intends to be or not. But
Yeah.
most of his movies, I'd say, end up being just a bunch of music videos kind of crammed together. But that being said, yeah, the trailer is a lot of spacefaring action, but also seems to be kind of rooted in like a, I don't know, it's hard to put your finger on like what the style is, but there's like a lot of old-timey, like country-ish, like farmland, like, you know, like not high sci-fi, but more like a low, dirty kind of sci-fi.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I like that style. I will say the thing that was kind of, I wouldn't say bothering me, but that I had trouble parsing in my mind is that knowing that this was so highly influenced by Star Wars, but is not a Star Wars property, I couldn't help but be like, oh, lightsabers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's supposed to be like an emperor or, you know, like part of the Empire.
Yeah.
You know,
the whole time you're like, where's the Star Wars reference?
Oh, those would have been stormtroopers. Okay. Yeah. Like,
the enemy is basically Nazi Germany, and it's like, yeah, but we know the Imperial Army.
But even more like in your face, like even more,
way more, dude. They're basically wearing SS uniforms. It's not even subtle.
Right. So it's like even more basic than the styling and themes of Star Wars, which on their own are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So a nail on the head a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, what'd you think?
I'm not going front. I watched it, and the first like 30 seconds of it, I was like, okay, Zach. Okay, I see what you. Okay, this doesn't look that bad. And then as it went on, I was like, there it is. There's our boy.
Yeah.
There he is. And I was like, I don't know how to feel about this because I'm trying to remove my bias from Zack Snyder projects. But it's hard, man. It's hard because I've been burned one too many times by old Zachy boy.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this trailer and I'm thinking, like, again, like you said, he's a master at these trailers. So you're watching it and you're like, fuck, this looks awesome. And then the more it goes on, you're like, it's kind of starting to look like a Zack Snyder movie. The more it starts to look like a Zack Snyder movie, the more you're like, you're not going to get me again.
The thing is, and I agree with you, I feel like the more that I saw in the trailer, the more skeptical I was about how he can land all of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, thematically and writing-wise and character-wise.
It's ambitious.
I have no doubts that, like, this is going to be a visual spectacle. Clearly, it already looks like one. My question is it going to be enthralling, narratively?
Yeah.
Because
has he ever written, like, a completely original... not even to say that this is completely original, because obviously it has a lot of influences, but...
Yeah, I think... I'm sure he has. I think he wrote... the one with all the girls?
Sucker Punch.
Yeah,
I saw something where he was like, I would love to do a director's cut of Sucker Punch.
Sure, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, bro, sit down.
Yeah.
Just sit down somewhere.
Yeah. I mean...
We don't need a director's cut of everything that you've ever done.
And clearly nobody was like, hashtag Sucker Punch director's cut.
Right.
So, yeah.
And he has his sycophants, and even they were like, well, maybe not do that, right? Maybe just work on
It's
some
been
other
long
stuff.
enough. Let's,
We don't need that, right?
Let's relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Chill out. But yeah, I think just the idea of him having to do the heavy lifting on lore and it being this large... Because, there are co-writers on this as well that can kind of fill in the gaps. But
was that Anthony Hopkins who was...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we have Sophia Boutella, Ray Fisher, Anthony Hopkins, Charlie Hunnam, Digimon Hunso.
Yeah. That guy.
You know that guy.
You know that guy. He isn't that guy. He's great.
Who?
Star-Lord, man.
Yeah, and a lot of other people
fantastic.
too. But
the stack is cast. The cast is stacked.
Yeah.
It's a great cast.
Sure.
So at the very least,
And again, just a lot of pretty people. So, and that's
Yeah.
what Zack Snyder likes
Zack
to do.
always picks the prettiest people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't
I'm
created
surprised
a
he
movie
has-
behind Hayden Christensen.
I'm surprised he has Anthony Hopkins in this. He doesn't like picking like actual actors.
Yeah, but have we seen Anthony Hopkins in anything? Like all he did was narrate it. And he's probably just going to be like some old sage who has like 5 minutes in the movie.
You're right.
And then we cut back to all the pretty people.
You're right. He probably did just a voiceover from his house.
Yeah, probably. And even that was like it. See, he's smart. Zack Snyder's smart, man. He's not a dumb dude. I think he's
Absolutely not. No,
I don't think he's very good at his job, but
No.
he's not a dumb guy.
He's not dumb.
He's very, very creative. He's very
He
smart.
has a vision.
Yeah.
I think he is like, I don't know, like a James Cameron who is even worse at narrative.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if you took the like the leveling up points and pushed them even more just to visuals and removed more from like writing and narrative,
Yeah.
that would be Zack Snyder.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's great at what he does, but that's not the whole picture of a film.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think he would be perfect as just a cinematographer.
Well, and that's
or
that
producer.
That's what I've always said is like his best movies have always been based on somebody else's writing. Or like main idea, right? So
Yeah.
like Dawn of the Dead, great.
James
Awesome.
Gunn wrote that.
James Gunn wrote it. 300.
Yeah.
Great. Based off the comic.
Right.
You know, like he didn't have to write any, and history, you know, didn't have to
Yeah.
write a thing for that.
Yeah. And didn't David Goyer have a hand in writing that too? If I'm not, I could be.
I mean,
confusing that with
it's
another
Frank
movie.
Miller, so, you know, like he
Yeah.
just took.
Well, adapting it to a screenplay.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Goyer's worked with him a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of his best works, and you know, Watchmen, obviously.
Yeah.
Like taken verbatim from the comics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, or for the most part,
Some
you know.
people say like his best movie, and it's like, yeah, I mean, he just adapted the graphic novel. That's literally all
except
he
for
did.
the end, which is like controversial in its own point.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, oh, as soon as he had an original idea, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know about that.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's just clear what his pros and cons are, and
I will say, for the record, I do really like Watchmen. I like the ending too. I think it's a good
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
So
I think it's
there's
good. I think it's good. I think it missed the point of the comic, but I think
Yeah.
it's still a good movie.
that. Yeah.
It's a good movie in its own right.
I don't think Zack Snyder does heady movies that well, and
No,
I
he
think
doesn't.
that's part of the problem. Is I think that when he does stuff, they're meant to be thought-provoking, but they're so simplistic in the way that they're presented that it's like, all right, but what else am I supposed to take from this? And
Yeah.
then his fans fill it in, and you go,
Sure.
all right, but you made a leap there because
Yeah.
you like Zack Snyder. You telling me like I'm supposed to think about it in this way,
Right.
But the way that this thing was presented to me was very easy to understand. Like, what else am I supposed to get from this?
Yeah, and you know, I kind of wish we could get one of two things from Zack Snyder at this point, and that is either another movie that he has he does not touch the script at all. we get an acclaimed writer
Yeah.
that knows how to stage action and stuff,
Yeah.
and get that, like James Gunn.
Yeah.
If you were to collaborate with James Gunn again, oh, kidding me? I'd be down for that immediately.
What's the weirdest combination you can think of? So the first thing that comes to my mind is like Zack Snyder directing, Aaron Sorkin writing.
Yeah, that or Tarantino.
Tarantino writing,
Tarantino writing,
Zack
Zack
Snyder
Snyder directing, and
Okay.
it is the most obnoxious film you've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. But
Zack Snyder writing,
uh-huh.
David Fincher directing.
I mean, that might work, honestly.
Fincher would be like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, no.
And then it would just become a David Fincher movie.
Which, fine.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
David Fincher doing a superhero movie?
Too depressing. I feel like that would
Yeah.
just be too dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it would essentially... I picture... The closest we've gotten to that is probably Unbreakable.
Yeah.
I think that's a very Fincher-esque film. It's very stark, very dark.
Stark.
Yeah, so that's one thing I'd want.
Yeah.
The other thing I would want is for him to find the magic sauce to make a movie that is dumb, but dumb enough to be fun.
Yeah.
And not be so self-serious, you know? And to make, like, essentially the 2020s version of a big, bombastic 80s action movie that's really dumb, but a lot of fun, very kinetic, looks great, doesn't make you think too much, but it's just a thrill ride from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You know?
Basically Dawn of the Dead. He needs
Yeah.
he needs a
Without
talented writer.
Without all the pathos, without all the grimness of like his DC stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's all very dark, very heavy.
Yeah, it's very just like heavy-handed, like you need to learn a lesson here, and it's
Sure.
like, what are we doing?
Right, which I would appreciate from somebody else, but like the way it's delivered it just never worked for me.
Yeah.
Except for Man of Steel's fine.
It still's fine, yeah.
But yeah, those are the two things I'd want.
It's fine.
I'd want from Zach at this point, if I can call him that. We're friends now.
I think we're friends now.
We're friends
We've
now.
talked about him so much.
We have talked about him a lot. I like him as a guy. Like he's another one of those guys.
Yes,
he's
is.
another one of those guys.
Definitely,
I
one of those
respect the
dudes.
hell out of.
Seems like a nice guy.
He seems like such a nice dude.
I respect the shit out of him.
Yeah, hearing him talk about film is great. Like
Yeah.
if you ever hear him talk about like cinema and the ideas behind his movies are awesome, and it sounds great.
Seems like
he's
really loves what he's doing.
and he's a fantastic salesman.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's got him so far, along with obviously his visual style, his skill for visualizations of his films.
Yeah.
Yeah, no disrespect to the man himself. But yeah, I think that's what I want from him personally. And I'm hoping that Rebel Moon will surprise me in a way that I'm not ready to be surprised.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is going to be another visual masterpiece that fumbles over itself on the narrative and world building aspect and either just cribs way too much from Star Wars or has original elements that just don't make sense or pan out in a way or are just underdeveloped. So that's my fear. That being said, the trailer itself, not trash.
Not trash.
Incredible
Not
trailer.
trash. It looks great.
Yeah.
Looks
Agreed.
great. I think I'm like,
Agreed.
whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's switch gears, not switch beers.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I mean, we can. You know, it's up to you. You can grab a beer. You know.
Okay.
Okay. While he does that, I will
Intro us.
I will set the stage for this next topic, which is that we're going in a completely different direction. We kind of little spoiler alert for you guys at the beginning of the episode, but if you've spent any amount of time on Twitter or X, as only Elon and his dick munchers call it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can. Hey, we're deep in the episode.
can
I can
say
say
it
whatever the hell I want now. Over the course of the past couple of days, and by the time you guys hear this, it'll probably be like a week or so. And who knows if he even has. Are you all right? All right, there we go. We got it. Look at that. Look at it. We're in it. Yeah, we did it. At this point, by the time of this recording, most people have said how bad of an idea this would be. Most people, probably in his inner circle, have told him how bad of an idea this would be. And if this episode comes out and the block feature is gone, then, you know,
So be it.
rest in peace, hallowed be thy name. You know what, you know, whatever.
Man.
So he responds to some weird Tesla account, which, by the way, there's like 1,000 Dogecoin or Tesla or Elon parody accounts that are out there that I am not convinced he doesn't run.
Yeah. It's very suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just say he doesn't run them and it's just some stranger who is like, this is what Elon should be doing. And then for some reason, Elon is searching his name without the ats. And he's going, you know what? I'm going to respond to this account because they pay for Twitter Blue.
Sure.
In this instance, they brought up the blocking feature and like, I guess what the... Well, you know what? You have the article pulled up, please.
I have it pulled.
Do the thing.
It was from at Tesla Owners SV, which is Silicon Valley. They said, and I quote...
Hold on. What's the at? Say the at again.
Tesla Owners SV.
What are we talking about? That's a whole Twitter account?
Yeah.
Tesla Owners Silicon Valley.
Of Silicon Valley, yeah.
And we're supposed to believe that that's a real person and not Elon or somebody who knows Elon personally.
I think it's technically a business account because their checkmark is gold.
And why? What business? Tesla Owners? Why do they get a gold checkmark?
I'm checking in here. Account follows the most notorious Tesla owners club in the world and the founder's journey as an owner.
Okay.
We are the voice of the Tesla owner, run at TS Lab Beat Podcast.
Again, guys.
Okay.
If you're listening, go on Twitter. Tesla Owners SV.
Yeah. And of course, it starts off with a meme about Elon versus Biden.
Right.
Right.
Because of course it does.
Sure.
They have a gold Twitter account.
Yeah.
A gold badge denoting that they're a business of note that they probably paid $100,000 for or didn't because Elon probably just gave them the badge. For what? This is, I mean...
To call him a meme lord and Doge father.
Meme lord and Doge father.
Yes.
Virginity.
And a man of the people.
Okay. I just want to get that across. That's the reality of what we're looking at on Twitter at this point. Okay? I just want you guys to know that that's what people...
Well, it's very clearly an Elon Stan account. I mean...
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be so... Like, even without this conspiracy theory... Which may be true. Even without that being said, it's clear that these are Elon fanboys.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I just wanted to... Yeah, let's get back to the task at hand.
Okay. All right. They said, and I quote, "Is there ever a reason to block versus mute someone? Give your responses." That was just their post on Twitter. Elon replied... directly saying block is going to be deleted as a quote feature except for DMs. And now after that there was a reader's context.
They got community noted,
right?
Elon got community noted,
but I feel like they've correct me if I'm wrong here, I feel like they've walked back the community note a little bit, because at first it's like, no, this is not going to happen because XYZ. Now it says, if the ability to block users was to be removed, X would be in violation of the policies of the App Store, as well as the Google Play Store. Potentially, this could lead to X being removed from these platforms. There is no such policies for the web app, however. So
the originally community note was like, he can't do that. Yeah. And that was it. It was basically just like, he can't do that, and this is why.
Right.
They rephrased it.
Yeah.
To kind of soften it.
It's softened for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's butter now.
Which leads me to believe that he still wants to try to do it. And even the community notes was like, well, if you do it, this is probably what's going to happen. If you want people to use Twitter on their desktop,
only.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah. So, there have been plenty of articles written on this. I'm on one right now from theconversation.com.
Theconversation.com.
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me if this is a reputable site or not. Beginning of the end, how Elon Musk's removal of the block function on X could trigger its hellish demise.
Hellish demise.
So
it's a website, guys. Let's relax.
It's it's fine.
Hellish demise.
I mean, it could be hellish for stakeholders and stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They're the ones that sold the fucking... I don't give a fuck about the people... Anybody who would be financially affected by this, other than, you know, artists and people who use Twitter to, like, sell their stuff.
As a tool, yeah.
If you're a person who, like, invested in Twitter, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to you. I hope nothing but bad things happens to you. I'll go that step further, yeah. You let this happen.
Are you still bitter about your investments?
Don't worry about my investments, okay?
All right.
You know, my investments are my investments. That's my business. Nobody has to know about
Dogecoin?
that. I didn't invest in Dogecoin. Did I invest in Dogecoin?
I don't think so. I think you would have told me.
No, I didn't invest in Dogecoin. I invested in some other shit.
To the moon.
Yeah, to the moon. So, okay. First of all, let's take a step backwards and let's address the first thing. You
tell me where to go.
Let's address the thing in the tweet, which was, when is it appropriate to block someone versus mute someone?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, the first thing is, blocking versus muting are not mutually exclusive, which is what everybody was saying. Like, or the people who were defending Elon was like, well, who cares? What's the difference? That you could just mute somebody and it does the same thing. My biggest beef, and I have a lot, obviously. My biggest beef with this whole conversation is, what is the reason behind removing the block feature? What is your motivation? And the only thing that they can come up with is, well, if you block people, you're stuck in your own echo chamber and you can't hear dissenting opinions on the things that you say.
Could you do that in a mute?
So when you mute people, you won't see what they say.
Right.
Because you're muting them from your profile.
Correct.
The difference is, if you mute somebody, they can still jump into your comment section. They can still see the things that you say, and they can still respond to other people. You just won't see what they say.
You won't be notified of it.
Right. A block prevents them from seeing your profile, from seeing anything that you engage in, because what it'll say is this user, well, it won't say that this user blocked you. It'll say, like, you can't see this person's profile. And then if you click it, it'll bring you to a page that tells you, like, a multitude of reasons of why you can't see this person's profile. The reason that I know this is because a DJ blocked me because I made a joke on his Twitter, and then he blocked me immediately afterward. And I was like, what did I do? And then a bunch of people were like, oh yeah, he's really sensitive. You can't make jokes about music and stuff because he will block you immediately. And he blocked me immediately. Incredible. So that's why I know how it feels to be blocked.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
And if you look at what a lot of people have been saying, the testimony of people who've had to block a lot of people on Twitter, it's kind of hard not to empathize with, say, sex workers or minorities or trans people or the like, who are saying,
anyone with an opinion on Twitter.
Right. I mean, well, see, here's my thing about that. If you're going to share your opinion on Twitter, I feel like you kind of invite... Okay, all right, let me rephrase. I don't think that you invite people to just jump on your Twitter account and call you a piece of shit. I do think that you invite debate. If I post something on Twitter, I post an opinion thinking, knowing, sometimes hoping that somebody will try to engage me in a debate, because I have facts and stuff to back it up, because I'm like, I feel pretty confident on the opinions that I share.
Of course.
If you are just saying something to the effect of trans people deserve to live...
Well... Here's the deal, man. If you were to say something and somebody were to reply with you with unalive yourself,
right,
and continue to spam that under your thread or whatnot, or any post you post, because they just dissent with your opinion. It can be from something as, you know, serious as gay rights, or as minuscule as you don't like Star Wars, or something, you know?
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
this
person just decides they have it out for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough.
Yeah, you know what I would do with that person? I would block that person.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth engaging with that person.
But what if you couldn't?
Exactly. And that brings us to this crux of, like, what is the reason behind removing the option?
Yeah.
And a lot of people... Excuse me.
Wow.
A lot of people have posited that the reason, and the only reason, that Elon wants to remove this is because he looked in the back end. And now this sounds like a conspiracy only when you don't follow Elon Musk on Twitter. If you follow him, this doesn't sound like a conspiracy. This sounds like something that this man would do because he's done shit like this.
Yeah.
A lot of people have posited that he looked at the back end and he was going, holy shit, I am blocked by so many profiles.
Yeah.
I'm just going to remove the option because I don't want to be blocked on Twitter. I own Twitter. I don't want to be blocked.
And he has at least enough wherewithal to be like, it would be a bad choice for me to unblock myself only.
Right. So the best thing to do would be to remove the option
For
completely.
everyone, yeah.
Because to me, I cannot, for the life of me, try to come up with a reason why it is a good thing to remove an option like that. When you think about everything that Twitter has, everything that happens on Twitter, you say something like you said. The example that you came up with is not an egregious or weird example. It happens all the time. All the time.
Yes.
So can you imagine every time that you tried to engage in a conversation on Twitter? Okay, for instance, like the blue checks who jump on there now and like jump into a conversation, they get blocked all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
They jump into conversations that they're not welcome to just say shitty things over and over and over again.
And that may be another reason why he's deciding to do this.
I think that definitely has a lot to do with it. I think all of them are like, we're getting blocked solely because we paid for Twitter.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, but all this basically boils down to it's very clear that there's no logical reason behind this.
Yeah.
Because the argument that people should have to engage with other people on Twitter because of their echo chambers or what have you makes no sense.
No.
If I post an opinion about Star Wars, for instance, and somebody jumps into my comment section and they're like, you're a fucking idiot and I'll kill your whole family for believing blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
I have to engage with that person because I'm in an echo chamber about Star Wars?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
And muting that person...
Actually, I disagree.
Muting that's a pretty good comic book guy
Thank you.
impression.
I've been working on it.
Muting that person doesn't stop them from ruining your comment section. If you post an opinion and a bunch of people are like trying to talk about something, it doesn't stop that person from ruining that. And it doesn't stop them from responding to you over and over and over again. The only thing that does is stop you from seeing it. And if your belief is, well, you know, if you can't see this dissenting opinion, how can you change your mind about something? All right, let's follow that logic. If I mute an account, I can't see that dissenting opinion anyway.
Yeah.
So what is the difference in your mind between muting and blocking? Right? If your argument is that you need to see a dissenting opinion on your Twitter account, I can't see it if I mute them.
You still won't, yeah.
Exactly. So what is the difference?
Well, I think the difference is, and tell me if I'm wrong here because I'm not 100% sure on this, but it sounds like you'll be able to see their comment. You just won't be notified when they post it.
You can't see their comment if you mute them.
Okay.
You can see a thing that says, this is an account that you muted.
Ah, I see.
And then you can view it if you want to.
Ah. Yeah.
That's how that works.
Got it. Okay.
And again, if I don't want to see those opinions,
You're not going to click on it.
You're not going to click on it.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So again, it brings it back to what is the point of all this?
Yeah. You'll just give yourself more anxiety knowing this person's still talking shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, okay, what is the point of all of this? What it brings us back to, like, why are you doing this to people? It doesn't really have any basis in logic. None of his decisions have had any real basis in logic. But this one has been so egregious that everybody on the political, social, economic spectrum have been like, no, dude, we block people for a reason.
Yeah.
People on the right block people on the left
block
people in the
yeah.
center.
Sure.
Everybody blocks people for a reason. Yeah. I have some people blocked. I'm not going to get into the details.
Yeah.
I have some accounts blocked that I don't want to see. Okay.
I report I am a narc ass bitch on Twitter. I want to let everybody know that.
We narking out here.
If I see anyone saying some off color stuff, racially, sexually, I mean, anything. If I feel a faint whisper of some racism, some sexism,
You're getting
some
narked.
some homophobia,
Yeah.
you're getting narked out.
You're getting narked,
immediately. I will
motherfucker.
report you with the quickness.
Yeah.
I am the one trying to silence you, and I want you to know that. So, like, yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to do it. Not because he doesn't want to, but I don't think he's going to be able to legally. I think the fight between, like, if he does this and the App Store and the Google Play Store remove Twitter, I mean, that really is as doom and gloom and fire and brimstone as this article tries to paint the picture. It would be the death knell of Twitter as a website,
A major platform, yeah.
Yeah, because if they remove it, if the App Store literally removes it from my phone, I'm not gonna go finding it afterward.
No.
That's it. I'm
not
gonna be on
that
Twitter.
addicted to
No,
Twitter.
that's it. The conversation's over. I'm not gonna. I mean, hey,
Literally.
listen. The conversation is over. Yeah. Hey, weren't you sleeping? You shut up.
This insane sentence roused me up.
That he's not addicted to Twitter. Listen, I believe that he spends an inordinate amount of time on
I
Twitter,
do.
like
I
we
do.
all do. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not you. Okay, sure. Yeah, you think you're better than us? You're better than
I
us?
can move to Threads.
Move to Threads.
That can be my vape as opposed to cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think at the end of the day, some of these websites are going to be they're going to be forced to figure it out, because if he goes through with this and the App Store and the Google Play Store do remove the app, then a lot of people will be forced to migrate to Threads or Blue Sky, which, by the way, I have a Blue Sky account.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did Blue Sky, but not Threads.
No, we talked about this. I didn't want to do Threads because I didn't want to be beholden to my Finsta accounts.
All right.
Which I have many.
Yeah. All right.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay?
I forgot.
Yeah. Blue Sky is a completely independent.
It's a fresh
thing.
start.
Yeah. So I can troll. I don't troll. Actually, with my Finsta accounts.
You're the people block.
No. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing. Okay. I've thought about this. I have a Twitter account that nobody knows about, and I have a Finsta account. And the reason I have these accounts is so that I can engage in these conversations without people using who I am as a bias.
Sure.
Right? So
You give them no ammunition.
yeah, a lot of times the conversations that I get engaged in is racial conversations where people are saying like something fucked up, and I jump in and I'll say like X, Y, and Z. They can't look at me and go, you're a mixed race person, or you're Puerto Rican, which is probably what they would assume.
I was gonna say, to be fair, I don't think they'd be able to figure out what
They
you
definitely, well, if they looked at my profile, they wouldn't assume that I was white. They would assume that I was
Sure.
like Latino or something, or something of the sort.
Middle Eastern, maybe.
Right. So I jump in these conversations and I fight with people about stuff like that, and I don't give them a reason to use who I am as a person as a bias. That's the reason that I have these accounts.
Right.
It's because sometimes I have the urge to fight with people.
Yeah.
I have the urge
I get
to
that.
fight.
No, I get
And
that. I get that so much, because actually recently, that's why my only recourse is to report, right?
Yeah.
Because I see something fucked up, and I'm like, I'm not going to reply to this guy. This guy's clearly insane. What I do is I go and I click on their profile, and I scroll through their replies, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're real.
Yeah.
They're a real person who spends their entire day talking about how much they hate abortions or whatever.
And they're just actually insane.
Yeah, and they're crazy people.
Yeah.
Talking about how, trans people deserve to die or whatnot. And I have no recourse if I want to have a life outside of Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. So I just go, okay, well, report, blah, 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 and see what happens.
Yeah.
Roll the dice and block them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And move on with my day.
Yeah.
But I've had the urge to get into an altercation with that person.
Yeah.
And be like, your thought process is wrong. This is why.
Yeah. But you can't have normal conversations with those kind of people.
Sure.
You can't have normal debates. And that's the reason why I have a Twitter account, because instead of I engage with them in an intellectual way until it becomes like unintellectual, and then
you call him a fuckhead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of beef that you don't want with your real account.
No, of course
because
not.
you don't want. And again, it goes back to this whole conversation. I don't want to have to. I don't want to. I've seen people talking about how many accounts that they have blocked. I saw one person that they had a screenshot of how many accounts that they have blocked, and it was like, I think it was like 5,000 accounts.
How are you online that much?
Dude, I don't know. And how do you there's that many people that you don't want to see? Like, that's crazy.
You've engaged with that many people.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much.
That's too much. But again, that's that person's prerogative.
Sure.
I don't care how many people they have blocked.
Twitter X should be happy.
Yeah.
Happy that person has engaged that much on their platform.
Right. So I just don't really understand. Again, just going back to the idea behind it, like the logic behind it. I just don't get it. And that's why I don't believe, it's hard for me to accept that it's just a conspiracy theory that the motivation is he doesn't like being blocked by as many accounts as he realized he's blocked by.
True.
Only because, I mean, again, that sounds like a crazy thing, but when you realize like how
he's a petty guy.
He is. He's a
super petty
He's
guy.
a petty guy.
Yeah.
And
Very
so
insecure, clearly.
Yeah.
And you can't say that that's not the reason.
Has to be a part of it. Has to be.
Gotta be.
Has to be.
Because why else?
That's what I'm saying.
Why else make this an initiative?
Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense.
Because this Twitter account chirped up.
This random okay, go back to that Twitter account. Damn, they actually have a lot, like, more followers than I thought.
Well, they do, but it's
a lot of followers.
Yeah, they have
788,000
followers plus.
I was gonna make a point about how many followers that they have, but I was wrong.
No,
they have a lot of followers.
But that doesn't matter. It's the fact that it is clearly a Tesla fan club.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Right.
So
yeah,
of course,
it's very clear that it's one of those accounts where you say anything bad about Tesla or Elon or what happened.
I don't know. Oh, it's because we're not on the actual app. So.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
site's broken. Anyway,
we couldn't see more on the page because we weren't
because the site's broken
on the X.
Because it's not a good website.
It's not good,
and because Elon's ruining it.
It's a bad
because he doesn't know how to run a website.
It's true.
Squarespace knows how to run a website.
Yeah,
you can create a website on Squarespace and have a better working. Yeah. Squarespace.com. The ad for this show.
Go to squarespace.com/ one beer in.
There you go.
It won't work.
No,
sorry,
not yet. Hold on,
we're working
it will.
on it.
It's getting close.
Working on it.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
All right. I think at this point, not much else we can really say about this, right?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, kids, if you stuck with us this long, then you know what's going to happen next, okay? It's two things. Number one, we got to do the cheers of the week. So, Obi, if you would please start us off. What's your cheers, my friend?
My cheers of the week goes to local watering hole. Will's Pub. Here.
Winner of Best Overall Bar.
Which I disagree.
And Best Pub in Orlando. So,
not that they need this cheers of the week, apparently.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
This is also a side cheers to none other than Tim Capello.
You got his album!
I got his
CD. You got his album.
Signed.
That's
autographed.
Amazing.
On CD.
Oh my God.
Great stuff. We went, Sherry and I.
Were you hiding that?
I was, yeah. Sherry and I went to go see Tim Capello. If you don't know him by name, you should.
You should.
But he is the, iconic stuff.
That was called Blood on the Reed. Oh my God. I can't take it. Oh my God. That's so amazing. Blood on the Reed.
Iconic character from cult classic '80s cult classic, Lost Boys. If you
Amazing
remember,
movie.
Yes, if you remember the scene where they're on the pier and there's this beach concert going on, and there's a sexy ass buff sax man playing his tenor sax like none other, and singing "I Still Believe"
Like a man possessed.
Incredible, wearing chains. We saw him. Sherry and I saw him. We went to Will's Pub to see him, and it was an incredible experience. Sherry, you agree?
I agree.
Sherry agrees.
We have it.
See is everything.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say Will's Pub is a great venue.
Yeah.
It is very intimate, but I mean, just a good bar on its own, a good venue on its own, and together, it's a great dive. I will say that.
Yeah.
And also Tim Capello, the sweetest guy. Put on a great show. Took the time to hang out with us for a minute. Shook hands. Talked to him. He recorded, and I want you to edit this in here. I know it's extra work for you.
I'm listening.
But he edited in. He filmed
I will edit it.
a video for my brother Richie, who is swole. We'll put a picture there.
Swole.
I wanted him to have motivation to hit the gym, and so I asked Tim Capello, who's famously buff, even in his later years where he is now, to give him some motivation to hit the gym.
Okay.
And it was great. So
Okay.
here it is.
Let me know. Tell me when you're going.
Ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right, listen. Richie, motherfucker! Get your ass to that gym! I can't even see you, and I can tell you're getting flabby already. Son of a bitch! Look over here. Now this is a man. This is my stepson.
That's sweet.
And if you're lucky, he'll be your trainer.
Nice. Oh, that's
So,
sweet.
get your ass to the gym. I know you got it in you. And next time, if your ass isn't at my show, you are in big fucking trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Mwah.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
man.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
And yeah, so I just appreciate so much that this guy took the time to not only come to Orlando, but also, like hang out with fans. I got a couple of T-shirts. I bought his CD. He has his wife giving out the merch.
What does this album consist of?
Well, it has, I will say, Tim Capello's debut album, Blood on the Reed. He finally has his own album.
Blood on the Reed.
It does include I Still Believe, which is the main big song. He does a couple of covers in there. He was also famously Tina Turner's saxophonist.
But okay, so does somebody else sing the record, or is it like a full?
No, it's him. He sings.
He's singing.
He's singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's singing.
He's singing. No, he's
Okay,
singing. He's
okay.
singing. He's singing. But sweet dude, very nice. I just want to say I appreciate.
I feel like this is more of a cheers to Tim Capello and not Will's Pub. I
Well,
don't really
I-
hear anything about Tim or Will's Pub.
I was heavy on Will's Pub at the beginning, but I want to give the flowers to Tim Capello in this second half. So
okay.
you know what? Let's give it to Tim. Let's give it
Yeah.
to Tim Capello. Tim Capello. Will's Pub was a great venue for you, sir. But Tim Capello, tip of the hat to you.
Yeah.
You're a great dude, and I appreciate you.
To Tim Capello.
Tim Capello. See you next time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
My cheers of the week is going to Bed Rest. Bed Rest.
Is that a new band?
Listen, yeah, it's my band. It's my indie rock band.
Yeah. Sounds
It's
emo.
my dream pop band.
Okay.
Yeah. Bed Rest.
Bed rest.
Listen, Bed Rest is an invaluable part of feeling better when you're not feeling great, right?
Feeling bed?
Here's the thing. When people tell you, when doctors tell you, or when WebMD tells you, or when your nurse friend tells you to relax,
Or
get some
sister.
bed rest, or your sister, or your
Yeah.
mother, or your aunt tells you, or your mom's, or your friend's mom,
Flex.
they tell you
So many nurses.
to relax and this is what you need. You know what you need? Clear fluids and bed rest.
rest.
And you go go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's not going to do anything.
This game's not going to beat itself.
The only thing that I can tell you is, anecdotally, anytime that I have ever put my life aside and decided, you know what I need to do to feel better? Nothing. I need to drink a bunch of fluids, and I need to sit, and I need to just relax and try to sleep, and when I'm not sleeping, just relax and not think too deeply, not stress myself out too much. Just relax. Yeah. Just let my body reset. I can tell you, again, anecdotally, that I have felt much better, much faster afterward. And I know that this is a silly, stupid thing that's like, of course, getting bed rest and listening to a doctor is the best thing that you can do.
Sure.
But a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think that it's... A lot of people don't have the option to do it. A lot of people are not afforded the opportunity to do that because they have to work. They have to continue just moving and just trekking on. And I understand that.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, life, it is what it is. Especially when the older you get, the more it's like, listen... Yeah, bed rest sounds nice.
Sure.
But I gotta keep working.
What if you got kids?
Right.
You know,
and I get that.
Can't afford to be sick.
And I feel for you. If you're out there and you're listening to this episode and you're going, fuck you, how am I gonna get bed rest? Listen, I don't have the answer. I don't know how you're gonna get it. I don't know how you're gonna get bed rest. What I'm telling you is that it works. That's what I'm telling you. If you can afford it, if you can fucking put those kids up for adoption, you know what I'm saying? Like, put them on the corner.
Yeah,
like,
bring them to a dog park.
Yeah, bring them to the dog park.
Yeah.
Maybe you lost them. Who knows? I don't know. You know, let your mother, let your aunt, let your friend watch them for like, you know, a couple of hours. Anything for you to just relax and just let your body hit the reset button.
Settle down.
Settle down. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Okay? I can only tell you, anecdotally, again, that it is invaluable. I was not feeling well the beginning of the week, and it coincided, luckily, with my days off, and I was able to just do nothing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, here I am recording a new episode. So, all I'm saying is, bed rest is awesome. When I was younger, I used to laugh in the face of bed rest.
I used to fight it too.
You know?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yo, you know what I'm going to do today?
Let me get some sleep
Fucking
time.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bed rest is my cheers of the week because it's invaluable. And sometimes
Amen, brother.
You know? So, that's that. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here, we got one more thing to do, and you know what it is. It's time for the review of this beer. It's the Vestige.
Vestige.
Why do I keep saying Vestige?
It looks like...
There's something that's like Vestige, right? There's something that... I'm
Prestige.
not just making... Prestige. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call it Prestige, but it's Vestige.
Yeah.
From the Oxbow Brewing Company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If he wasn't here, I don't know what I would be doing.
Let's just review this one.
Sound like a fucking idiot.
Let's just review this one.
No. Yeah, we're not.
This is for funsies.
Yeah.
But I will say, what we're drinking right now from J. Wakefield Brewing is the Peaches, which I didn't realize at the time, but is a collaboration with Tactical Brewing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So a little, accidentally, a little bit of Orlando in our Miami beer. So pretty cool. Cool.
Maybe we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
But what we're doing right now is the Vestige.
Yes.
Which is the subtly smoked blonde farmhouse ale from Oxbow Brewing Company.
Yep.
Obi, what'd you think, my friend?
I thought this was great. I think it is my optimal, quote, smoked style of beer. Because it is subtly smoked. It's not over the top. Smoked. It doesn't taste like you're drinking like liquid smoke, you know?
No.
And I feel like I have a high tolerance for smoky flavors.
Do you?
I do. I like a nice peaty scotch, you know?
Right.
I'm good with that.
Right.
But, a very smoky beer, I don't love.
Yeah.
But this hit the balance very well for me. It's smooth on top of that. And, I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Do I think it's the best thing ever? No. But that being said, I still think it deserves a 5 out of 5.
You know what, sir? The way that you were leading into that was making me thinking you were gonna like give it like, I don't know, 3.5 or a 4 maybe. Because I agree. I'm giving it a 5 as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic beer. I really liked the smokiness. Wasn't really trying to. I was trying to basically understand like a smoked blonde ale.
Yeah.
And it's just it works like really well balanced. Subtly smoked is smart. I've had a lot of smoked ales, smoked lagers, especially working at Red Light. Shout out to Red Light.
Of course.
Definitely affords me the opportunity to drink a lot of like smoked beers and something that I would have in a couple years ago would have like scoffed at and said like, ugh, like what smoked beer? Why are we
Nasty.
drinking? Now I'm like, a Roush beer, a smoked Helles,
Sure,
fucks with it.
Yeah.
So 5 out of 6 for myself. Think we got it?
No, we got it.
Well, then, if Obi says we got it, then it's time to get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Mark LaDupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
I still believe.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
Love you.